Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is 8:02 a.m. You're listening to and watching Good Morning, Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. It's Wednesday the 25th. We have a great show and conversation for you today. My guest is Mr. Josh Gutstein of the Wabanzi. Oh, my goodness.
Isn't that something?
I do it a lot. I do it all.
Got the W.
Of the WBDC, Women's Business Development Center, Managing Director of Access to Capital Programs and Services.
Right.
Good morning to you.
Good morning. It's great to be here.
Oh, thanks for coming. Lots of things to talk about. And we've been a fan of the WBDC for quite some time, learned a lot about what the organization does and its place, helping people gain and scale up their businesses, everything from the child care cohort to all the other initiatives. But can you give an overall description of what you do and all about access to capital programs and services?
Oh, sure. I'd be happy to. You know, the WBDC, the Women's Business Development Center, has all these services for small and established businesses. We've got a cohort for established businesses. We've got two cohorts for small businesses.
Okay.
And then we have an innovation group and a digital learning group that's part of it. And I manage direct the Access to Capital program.
Okay.
Who you're pretty familiar with. That's we have two loan products that we administer. We do programs, and then we also help out we're in the other programs as well. So we both work with clients and also work with our own groups to help them as well.
Okay. And the work that you guys do with clients, from what I've seen, has grown. I've talked about some of the numbers of growth that with some of the other folks that we've had from WBDC. But what's the success rate been like with the cohorts and some of the classes that you've had? And do you have a direct hand in those and with some of the classes and people?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'd love to talk about our
absolutely.
Success rate.
Yes.
I mean, it's really fantastic.
And our listeners, as they know, for those who've been watching the show, this is actionable information that you guys can definitely take part in. Sign up for these cohorts, register for the classes. Absolutely.
I love it because we do have a cohort right now called the Financial Bootcamp that has open registration until the end of the week, till Friday. So this is really hot. If folks wanted to go to, and this is going to be a little complicated, if they went to bit.ly, like bit.ly /WBDC FB for Financial Bootcamp, W for Winter 23. They could register for this. This program is for more established businesses because it really helps businesses look at their own financials and get comfortable with their own financials, use it to leverage into ratios and better pricing to really strengthen their business and to go after better clients. And then it positions them to pitch to investors and to banks. And this is a 6-week program, and they graduate at the end of it. It really takes businesses that have always had CPAs, but they just basically take whatever the CPA gives them and hands it into the IRS and never
they know
looks
best.
At it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then they go through our program and realize their CPAs might not know best, or so it gets them to even they leave here thinking that their cash flow statement is their very favorite statement, and I always wanted to have a favorite statement. So you asked about success rates,
yes.
and I do personally. I'm managing director, but I do personally also help with the technical advice. Like we all are consultants basically, and growing the network for businesses.
Yes.
And we extend people's networks to our own networks. And so we have great success. Basically, in every one of my meetings, we put them into the right capital at the right time from the right source. That's our mantra.
What have you seen in your experience when it comes to that established business? First of all, what's that time frame that is considered that they've been in business, that we consider them an established business as opposed to the startup, the beginning? What's that time frame to get them there?
Typically banks also think like 2 years. If you get past the 2-year point, our businesses in the cohort, for example, 2 to 3 years we like to see because we work on their own tax figures.
Right.
They actually work with their own figures in the program and figure out and get comfortable with their own numbers, and so they need that. And the younger businesses just don't have taxes yet that they could build on, so it's not really appropriate for them. But we have other services for the younger businesses.
In your assessment, what's the strength, what's the health of the Aurora business community?
I really believe that the Aurora business community is strong. I actually feel like that suburban niche has gotten support and has gotten back on the horse pretty fast.
Right.
And I love hearing what they're doing. I love that they're out there and they're really committed to it and they're excited about it and very innovative out here. I really enjoy working with the folks out here.
We do have an interesting crop of folks, and a lot of the people who watch, I can see a couple businesses in the chat right now. Juan Cayetano and the Woodcrafters. Good morning to Minerva, Maria Banuelos and Homes with Maria. I think that our business community is doing good, and I think that there's more knowledge that's available now than there has been. In your experience as well, what role has social media played in the ability for a business to do better, learn more, and present better?
Boy, social media is such an opportunity, and it's the new world. We always talk about that. We have this month we're having a Let's Chat, which is our program that's an hour-long webinar, right? And the truth is we're going to start shifting that to, instead of hour-long, to have 6-minute or even have 1-minute YouTube shorts. To show quick resources in the capital.
It's like the virtual bullet point.
That's right. Because businesses are so busy,
right?
And they just need to get a quick hit, and they just that kind of thing. And nobody really has time to. They hardly have time to come to a webinar than to sit down and watch a recording of a webinar. That's something that not even I can really handle at this point. Over time, my own attention span has gotten closer to my kids.
Now let's talk about Kiva, and let's talk about access to capital and the loan programs that you guys have. Now you mentioned 2. We had the pleasure of interviewing Gabriella Bombin at the time, and talking about Kiva and microloans. Let's talk about microloans for the businesses. The truth is I was really shocked that Kiva is an up to $15,000 crowd-based loan that has 0 interest, but it is a loan. But what it is that a business can, just a little background. A business signs up for the loan. The Kiva is a national nonprofit that we are a hub for, right?
And businesses in the Kiva will tell them how much of the $15,000 that they could go try to raise.
Right.
So they'll tell you it's up to 15,000. Startups will do basically up to 10,000. But it's an excellent opportunity for startups because it's the power of an idea. And that's my number one source for capital, for the power of an idea. That you have 45 days to raise money from investors. Investors, they have over 2 million investors on their platform, and you have 45 days to raise that money. We now have a new capital access manager. Gabriella was absolutely outstanding and the shining star.
Shout out to Gabriella.
Shout out to Gabriella. She is now in the arts community.
Yeah.
So now we have Deanna Beal, who is our new capital area manager, and you're going to adore Deanna.
All right. Shout out to Deanna as well.
Yeah, someday you'll meet Deanna. And what she does is to help position and tell businesses how best to present their information and how best to reach out to those investors. What I bring up in that is that kind of capital I always thought that what can $15,000 do?
Right.
But the truth is $15,000 can really leverage. It could really be a linchpin. I had another business, for example, that they're about $750,000 in revenue, so they're not terribly small. But the truth is they got pinched. They got pinched in that they had a Chinese manufacturer that went down, and they had to get a new manufacturer. All of a sudden, they have to put in their own money to pay for the Christmas sales coming up, and all they needed was $6,000. Seriously, for a $750,000 business, and all they needed was $6,000. Because they were pinched. They put all their money in. They didn't have any more friends and family.
The choke point of business.
Isn't that something?
It is.
And that Kiva loan saved them. Isn't that? And I mean, a tiny little loan. It's like the mouse taking out the stick from the bottom of the elephant's foot.
Sir.
Thank you.
Excellent reference at 8:13 in the morning.
That's right, everybody. Let's think about that fable. I bring fables to you.
Okay, you do. You do. Thank you.
You got it.
That's the kind of show that's the kind of stuff we like on this show.
I figured.
I've been a very big literary nerd my entire life. Thank you. Now the Financial Bootcamp is 6 weeks, and it starts this Friday. Correct.
Well, the registration ends. It actually starts. I'm glad you said that. The program starts November 15.
Okay.
And it's a 6-week program. So it's going to be every Wednesday from 10 to 12:30. It's a virtual program. Okay. And then the week of Thanksgiving, it's on a Tuesday.
Okay. Now, we talked before the microphones came on about COVID, about the COVID time.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about that because that was a pivotal time for businesses everywhere across the United States. Very much so here in Aurora. I mean, we saw everything shut down, and a lot of businesses did not come back, and that's quite unfortunate. What was going on at that time with yourself, managing director, WBDC? What did you see? Talk about that and what you heard from businesses and what they were going through.
Oh boy, that was a tough time. Yeah. We really focused on the PPP loans and got out a ton of PPP loans and the PPP grants and the EIDL loans. Everyone was just surviving.
Right.
There were a few that were thriving during that time, and that was just remarkable to see.
Right.
People were very innovative in pivoting during that time, but that was no question. That was hopefully we never see that much of a hard time again.
That's right.
Just remarkable. I had a friend who was manufacturing guitars and was doing pretty well. Had a storehouse full of guitars. Then COVID hit, and then Gibson, right? That's
Gibson.
Gibson pulled said, "Sorry, we're not interested in the order." I mean, it's brutal.
Yeah.
And how could you ever imagine or predict that?
Right.
But they didn't do so well. There was no real save in them. But that's fine because he ended up going into the nonprofit world, and we're better for it.
Right.
So all is right in Good Morning America. I'm not gonna bring you down.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, I'm still up. Yeah.
Yeah, you're still up.
Yep.
There's no doubt that PPP did save businesses.
It did, yeah.
It did what it had to do, and it kept businesses from going under, just barely keeping them afloat,
right,
to then recover. And I feel like, for the most part, those businesses have recovered. I'm really proud to say that I only know of maybe one or two that didn't make it.
Yeah.
But they were having a hard time before.
Okay.
Meaning everybody that I know made it.
Right.
And are now rebuilding, and some have rebuilt past what they did in 2019, and that's really outstanding.
It is. The time is 8:17 a.m. You're listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. Our guest today is Mr. Josh Gutstein, Managing Director of the Access to Capital Programs and Services, at Women's Business Development Center. Now, I want to talk about your work and where people can find you at. Where are you located? Are you located in 44 East Galena?
Oh, isn't that something? No, actually, I'm located. We have probably the majority of our employees on Michigan Avenue in the city.
Okay.
At 8 South Michigan Avenue on the 4th floor.
Okay.
And I'm really excited to be there. That basically what I do is just oversee, and do a lot of reporting, and try to get out as much and speak as much as I can.
What's the chances of us taking a field trip with some cameras out there sometime and seeing what happens in Chicago?
Just don't bring dogs, and you're totally welcome. We do have, I would even get you into the office of one of my coworkers, which has a brilliant view of the Bean.
Oh, that's awesome. Millennium Park. Great place.
It's great. Yeah. I love one view from, just as an aside, he's got one view that has the trees, and then there's the fountain that's just a brick. It's a brick building kind of thing that has water overflowing it. It's like a very odd looking fountain, and you got to see it.
And it's on Michigan.
It's in Millennium Park.
Okay.
And there are two of them, of these big edifice kind of fountain type things, and then the water is in the area in between. Okay. And all the kids will jump around in there. But from his view, it looks like a waterfall over the trees.
Really?
Yeah, you got to bring the cameras.
Got to bring the cameras out there. Well, stay tuned. We took a ride at our local bookmobile for Aurora Public Library and did a live show Monday.
Outstanding.
Yeah, so
that's fantastic.
It was great.
You were really on site.
I was, yeah. We went to Brooks Elementary School, then we came and ended at Family Focus here in Aurora. So it was a really good time. So yeah, we do take trips, as you guys know.
That's great.
So
keep it fresh.
We're gonna continue to put the links, everything we're talking about, access to capital, Kiva, the cohort, Financial Bootcamp in the chat, in the description of this video.
Outstanding.
As well. Now, when it comes to other events, you did mention that the Let's Chat is coming up.
There's a Let's Chat on the 26th.
The 26th, okay.
And that is a webinar that's going to be taking the spookiness out of your financials.
What's spooky for? Well, let me start over. I know a lot can be spooky in your financials and your business, but where I meant to
go. That was a softball.
Yeah. Thank you. Where I meant to go with that was for either the startup or the established business, understanding the financials. It seems sometimes people get started with a business and don't understand. Yeah. The business is established. They've gained that knowledge over time, but things are still tricky. What's the number one thing, or what are the main reasons why people don't understand their financials, or what hinders them from having that clear view? Is it understanding taxes? Is it understanding?
I think what hinders them is being so focused on sales. And and it's understandable when you're first starting out that's what you're 100% about. The good businesses, the very best businesses, are focused on sales. And so they know, the established business owners will know their sales reports inside and out. They'll know exactly what report they get from Amazon. They know exactly what report they get from Grubhub. They know those reports inside and out.
Right.
And that's what they focus on. The number one thing that they need to do is have a little bit broader view,
right,
and understand what are their expenses too,
right,
and understand what is their margin because of their expenses, and how to manipulate their expenses so that they could have a bigger margin, so that they could then have the freedom to sell a little less, so that they could cover their nut. But that's what I found. And I'm always shocked, because you could get very established, very advanced businesses where the owners still don't have a good picture about their financials.
Right.
They know their sales data inside and out, and it could tell you exactly.
Right.
But the problem is when you're like that, when you only know your sales data, you go from crisis to crisis. Is the problem. You go from the highs of filling this one sales deal or this one event, and then you have a cash crunch, and then you try to rally again, and then you have another high. And so that's what happened when you're only focused on that and not having a broader picture.
Right. That goes with being or having a team. There's probably many different elements in that too. Maybe a lot of people have started the business, and some businesses take off at a pace as well, which may be kind of hard to maintain for folks. When we were talking before, you asked about our listenership and everything, and I also mentioned to you that how the show started.
Yeah.
And there was that crucial point. There was that crucial point where I could see that, okay, the little plant, right? It's coming through the ground, but I don't have a job at the time. So I need to boost up the production of this, but how do I do that without, and that's where the early days, using that stimulus check, studio time, those kind of things. And I think I've seen some businesses here in town during the COVID time that had those same kind of issues. They want to go out to do the pop-ups when those kind of started emerging.
Right.
But fuel costs, and will I make the sales that I was making when I had the brick and mortar that they no longer had? So many things, man. Just so many.
And I love that.
Many.
I love that you bring that up. Is that not all business is necessarily good business? And so, and that is rich, that it takes a little bit of maturity to look at that pop-up opportunity and say, okay, hold on. These are all the expenses I'm going to have to do to put into that.
Exactly.
And this is all the revenue I'm going to come out of it. Is it worth it for me?
Right.
Now taking a loss in one pop-up might be worth it because you get your name out there. There are other kind of benefits from it. But again, look at that and make sure that it makes sense for you.
Exactly.
And I love that you said, you used the stimulus, and I love that you brought up Kiva, because now you could use Kiva. You might not have stimulus money now, but you could use a little money from Kiva to get you to that first opportunity that you could then leverage to opportunity after opportunity.
Yes. And we also, the information that we've gotten from our guests of the WBDC has been great, because there's a family, and I hope I think Minerva told me last time that somebody watched an episode and reached out, but there's a family, Heather Rainey and Matt Rainey, Rent-A-Chef.
Oh, cool.
And I know you guys had Tamales Plus. There's some businesses that I do see taking advantage of you guys' information, taking advantage of some of that microloan stuff, asking us, I'm not going to say any names, but, sending us chats in the DM. Hey, Curtis, what was the thing? How do you spell Kiva? So, again, just doubling down on what we already talked about, actionable information to help you take your business to that next level.
What I love is that I love people that understand that they know everything. They know a lot, but they could always have a friend.
Absolutely.
And they could always have the benefit of more resources.
Yeah, absolutely.
That shows some maturity in an entrepreneur.
Yeah. I remember getting a trademark attorney. You know, it was like, you know, I'm only gonna Google so long, right?
Yeah. Right.
All right. The time is 8:26 a.m. Maria, good morning to all of you great people watching the show. Tracy Duran, Jen Mendoza, Minerva, good morning. You guys are talking to each other. Hello there. Minerva says the office in Aurora is 43 West Galena Boulevard.
Thank you, Minerva.
Thank you, Minerva. I was just one digit off. Not 44, 43 West Galena. Katrina, Latin Bites and Bar, fantastic restaurant, is watching. Good morning to you. Valerie, dear friend, good morning. Women's Business Development Center is a wonderful local resource here in Aurora. I would concur. And if you want more information about the Finance Bootcamp or need help with funds, please send an email to our dear friend Minerva, who put her email in the chat. John, Marissa, great perspective to look at the broader gains. Awesome. And we got the phone number, 630-246-7831 is the number.
Curtis, isn't that terrible that I was so focused on myself? I didn't mention Minerva is outstanding, and she really is giving services right here in this region.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Have you had Minerva on the show?
We have. We've had her on our Spanish cohort, our sister show, Buenos Dias, Aurora, as well.
Outstanding.
Yes, absolutely. And Minerva, we have a lot of mutual friends too. Cool. So the Wabanzi is. All right, let's start it working again, right? Mm-hmm. The Women's Business Development Center has been known in town for a while. It has been known locally here in Aurora. I think the strength of the message has taken more of a direct, you know, it's out there more now because, you guys are doing so much more. And I think that I do see more activity now with the WBDC than I've seen in the past.
Yeah. Well, Minerva's really building up that program.
Okay, yeah, right.
And Kristen, now she has
Kristen Garrick, yes.
Yeah, working with her. They're really active and really establishing programs and services here. And Minerva will bring me in and our group in to support access to capital.
So as managing director and having that broad view, having that 30,000 foot vision, being in Chicago, but also being aware of business and how it is in Aurora and the rest of Illinois. We've done the SWOT analysis, right? What's our strengths, our weaknesses, our opportunities, and our threats. Let's do a quick SWOT about business in our region. What's our strengths?
Our strengths for businesses out here is the innovativeness. Okay. It's the building up businesses to beyond their to be outward looking and beyond being provincial to try to be more outward looking.
Right. What's our weaknesses if we have any?
Weaknesses, I think it could be an isolated idea if you feel that provincialism is also a problem,
right?
Because you are out here.
Short-sightedness, perhaps.
Yeah, and a short-sightedness of being, that you end up focusing too much on the block that you're on as opposed to trying to think beyond it.
Ooh, did y'all hear what he said? Did y'all hear that? Focusing on the block that you're on and not thinking about what's beyond it. Now, we've had different conversations, right? Perhaps where you grow up. If your prospects are only to the end of the street. Anyway, let's get back on track. Opportunities.
I think partnerships are a great opportunity.
They are, yeah.
Reaching out, and that's how you could leverage your own talents and maximize. And if you could partner with another business that both of you guys can build off of each other, can cross-reference customers and grow that way. I think it's an amazing opportunity for them.
Opportunities and our
threats.
Yeah, our threats.
Jeez. I think the threats are just basically competition. I think that it's cutthroat always, and everybody's trying to earn, and everybody's trying to get out there, and they're stealing from each other's websites, and they're
taking ideas, and trying
to do it better.
Now they're doing cupcakes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just got to keep that's the unfortunate truth is you just keep pushing, so you might as well love it.
That's right. Well, the time is 8:31, 1 minute over for you guys. We do apologize about that. This was a fantastic discussion that we had with Mr. Josh Gutstein, Managing Director, Access to Capital Programs and Services, Women's Business Development Center. We will put the link to the Financial Bootcamp and the Let's Chat in the description of this video. Right now, we're going to go to a commercial and show you guys a message from our friends of the Community Foundation of the Fox River Valley. I want to say thank you very much.
Thank you, Curtis.
Josh, this was a fantastic episode, which will be around on our YouTube and Facebook pages.
I think the biggest thing would just to recognize the youth in our community and to recognize that everybody does have a voice. And that voice is important regardless of what it says, that everybody's opinion is important and should be taken into account. And to have faith that this is something that I think would make an amazing impact in our community, and I think it already has. Being a citizen in this community, I think the most important thing is to give back what you can and what you're capable of doing. So whether it's donating time or donating a couple canned goods to a food drive, it's a lot more of, if everybody participates, it can make the community something amazing. But it is important that everybody participates, not just a certain age group of people, whether it be the adults or the youth. I think adults and youth working together can create an impact.
YP is a very enjoyable experience just because, it's a lot of youth who kind of have that similar mindset and want to have the same kind of values of helping the community. And I also feel like it instilled a little bit of or enhanced my own character. When people donate to YUP, they're not only helping us with our goal of helping nonprofits and donating to nonprofits and their causes, but they're also donating to help youth develop those feelings of philanthropy and goodwill towards others, which forge their character. So it's not only a donation towards nonprofit organizations, but also, a little bit of help in creating the inheritors of the world.
All right, we're back. We are back. The helicopter's coming soon. So that was a great conversation that we had with Josh. Once again, we will pass that information to you guys. Time is 8:33. Let's get into the news, the local news. We got a lot to talk about, a lot to go over for you. So we went through last weekend with some great events. Some of those pictures will be making their way to social media that you guys will see coming up. If you've got anything going on or anything interesting, you can send us an email, as you know, to goodmorningaurora@gmail.com. Okay. So first things first, we have the community survey, which is going on through Kane Health Counts, Unity for a Healthy Community. The survey is in both English and Spanish. It's very important, and this information is being conducted or presented by 8 local hospitals: Advocate Healthcare, Ascension Mercy, Ascension St. Joseph, Mental Health Alliance, Inc., Kane County Health Department, Northwestern Medicine, Delnor Hospital, and Rush Copley Medical Center. That's actually 7, my bad. But anyway, there is the survey. The QR code on that flyer will take you right to it. Once again, it's in English and Spanish, and we've been sharing the survey as well on all of our social media, including LinkedIn. That reminds me, if you have LinkedIn, follow Good Morning Aurora on LinkedIn. We are there. Good information to you, as well as interesting links. All right. Next up this Friday will be the VNA Health Care Tent or Treat Halloween Fest. So come one, come all for a festive trick or treat, including taco truck, hot cider, hot chocolate, cider donuts, and ghoulish fun. Children, parents, guardians, and goblins are welcome to trick or treat and vote on the most fabulously decorated tent. This is going to be at 400 North Highland, VNA Health Care on Aurora's west side. 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. is the time. For more information, you can contact our friend Crystal Phillips at cphillips@vnahealth.com. All right. Coming up this Saturday, Dia de los Muertos event taking place, Fox Valley Mall. Polo Sax doing some music, Juan Diego Rojas, many other great community members. Our dear friend Zora Zapata, handcrafted. Jose Torres, Angie Garcia. This event is free and open to the public and will take place at Fox Valley Mall. Come on out and see a great community event and enjoy the fun. Buenos Dias Aurora will be on the scene. They will be doing the news, and we expect a good crowd and turnout. All right. Friends, St. Astro, great local band, Santos Ramos, Terra, they get the shout out. Santos Ramos and his band are playing at Two Brothers Roundhouse on the 28th, which is this Saturday. Halloween weekend, DJ NSTO is closing out the night. $10 cover, doors open at 7:30, and music starts at 8:30 p.m. Two Brothers Roundhouse is 205 North Broadway, otherwise known as Walter Payton's. Y'all remember that. House music, disco, soul, and funk. It'll be a spooky good time. All right. Beer and stickers. Our dear friends, McCarty Mills, the Sticker Snobs, are going to be having this event. It's going to be at Endiro Coffee, Saturday the 28th from 2 to 7 p.m. Many great vendors, including Catalina Diaz, Dizalasi, and Lonesome Road Studio. A percentage of the sales from this event will be donated to the Community Fridge. If you're not familiar with the Community Fridge, it's a great initiative that is right underneath the patio of Endiro. That fridge is open for those in our community who are less vulnerable to receive food free at no cost. If you have food items that you don't eat or you have things to donate, I encourage you, please, to take them to the Community Fridge. That fridge helps a lot of people, so please do so. Anyway, Saturday the 28th, this event's taking place at Endiro Coffee, 2 to 7 p.m. I love doing the news. Alex, good look, baby. All right. Marissa Amoni says, the broad perspective again. I'm going to write that down. What's the new thing or wave in small business growth? I should have asked him that. That's a good question, Marissa. I should have been watching. Trunk or treat. Trunk or treat's taking place this Sunday, 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. at Wesley United Methodist Church, 14 North May Street. Food, games, and a whole lot more. Wesley United Methodist Church is a fantastic church doing great things in the community. Shout out to Wesley United. Trunk or treat is free, open to the public. A great time for kids and families. And once again, that'll be from 12:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. The time is 8:38 a.m. You are listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. Next up on your screen is the Aurora Film Festival, the City of Lights Film Festival. 4 films are going to be running: Canary, Rounding, The Gold Spraying Miracle, and The Old Oak. Tickets are now on sale, $35 all access tickets, local shorts, exclusive features, and documentaries. This will be November 3rd and 4th. You can find myself and some of the Buenos Dias Aurora team out and about on these great evenings. So the screening locations are, Alex, my bad. I was talking long. Alex telling me to hurry up. My bad. Screening locations are Wabanzi Community College, Aurora Public Art, Fire Museum, and Paramount School of the Arts. QR code is on the flyer as well. Scan that for the schedule and to purchase tickets. All right, Alex, I'm ready. Shout out to Alex. Luz Elena Brambila Guerrero, good morning to you and the Woodcrafters. Get to know our dear friends of the Woodcrafters, family-owned business, friends of the show. First-time homebuyer seminar is being presented Saturday, November 4th, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lakeside Bank in Oak Brook Terrace. Snacks and beverages are provided. Our personal friend, Kenneth Johnson, who's a broker for Keller Williams Infinity, is presenting this. Choose the agent who will represent you before, during, and after the transaction, working with the best loan officer, real estate attorney, and inspector. A level of service unmatched. Hit the target. For more information, call 630-270-7397. And if you go to this home buyer seminar, let them know that you heard about it on Good Morning Aurora. All right. Next up, Dia de los Muertos, Celebrando Comunidad y Vida. This will be at Naperville Central High School on the football field. That's on Aurora Avenue, 440 Aurora Avenue. This will be November 5th. 2:30 to 6:30 p.m. This is presented by Alamos, the Alliance of Latinos Motivating Action in the Suburbs. They are friends of the show. Shout out to them. Support what they do. That was a good one, Alex. All right. Next up is Breakfast with Santa. December 2nd is the date for this, 8:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. It'll be at West Aurora High School. Come in and visit Santa. Games, crafts, face painting, sweet shop, and photo opportunities. Special appearance this year will be Grinch, McGruff, and Touch a Truck. For more information, you can contact Miss Brennan, L. Brennan at sd129.org with questions. Tickets are on sale. Online tickets will close on Friday, December 1st at noon. Tickets will be available at the door. If you want to get in, admission for just breakfast is $5. For activities and breakfast, that's $10. So come on out for that. Shout out to the West Aurora High School Culinary Club and Skills USA. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the time is 8:41 a.m. This has been a fantastic show. We've got some interesting things going on in the community right now. We are putting together some great plans. I'll give you guys a little bit of a heads up. There's two big initiatives that are taking place in the city right now. One is called the CIM. That stands for the Community Impact Measurement. What that is it's assessing the quality of life of people who live in the city of Aurora. Everything from how they feel at night in their neighborhood to what they think about blight and graffiti on their streets and on the walls of the buildings. That information will allow organizations in the city to help scale services to meet those people. So the people who live paycheck to paycheck, or after they pay their rent and they put gas in their car, there's not much for anything else. This information will hopefully identify ways to help them out. So that's really big that's going on. And Good Morning Aurora and Buenos Dias Aurora we are looking at ways in which we can maybe host a resource fair. We've been looking at it, right? We've been checking it out, and we're like, you know what? Maybe Good Morning Aurora and Buenos Dias Aurora, maybe we, in conjunction with a local church, maybe we can have a resource fair and bring people out. And so sometimes vendors have to pay. Maybe entry for the vendors will be free. I don't know. Something we're thinking about. So if you have any ideas or you want to get involved, you think that's a good idea, shoot us a message. Let us know what you think. Other than that, we're happy to keep bringing you guys local news and content every single day. This show exists for people to receive information, get the information, act on the information, and have a good time. Hopefully we make your day better and brighter for just that 1 hour daily. So the time is 8:44. We are going to end the show a little bit earlier today and get to work. Things are happening. I'm going to take this off and be like Superman and just jump into my other fit. Good morning, Josue Pais. This Saturday, I'll try to get out there. That's awesome. Well, we will see you guys back on Friday with more news, more weather, and the very best of Aurora. Have a great day. Take care of yourself and each other.
Rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.